The new patch has landed, bringing us some astonishing changes in Rise of Kingdoms. Stick around in this video for everything we have found so far in this new update, and yeah, there are some hidden goodies. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, a sponsored content creator for Rise of Kingdoms, and today we're reviewing a lot of the crazy stuff that we found in this new patch, and there is some really important stuff to talk about. Like Rise of Kingdoms guides that help you get value and smash your enemies. Hey, consider smashing the subscribe button for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. We can now go in, by the way, and purchase and select the commander that we'd like to appear in the daily special offer. Now, this is pretty freaking cool in and of itself. Unfortunately, even in the oldest of kingdoms, you will be limited to commanders as far as Mulan, and there are some commanders that aren't even in here, like, you know, Edward is normally paired with Tamaris. Well, Tamaris is not in here. So we'll go now and purchase 3 of these chests and just see what that looks like. Okay, all 3 of these have now been purchased. And if we tap the info button, you can actually select this chest to see what the percent drop rate is of all these different things. We're expecting to get perhaps some Mulan sculptures, less than 10. How many do we get? 7. Wow. Okay, that seems like a lot of sculptures, but there was a chance I would get that. Let's open up another one, shall we? What do we get? Next up, okay, epic commander sculpture, not amazing. And another one. What do we get? Okay, silver key. This to me doesn't seem any different than what it was before. In fact, here we are on my restart project. This is a much younger kingdom than my main, which is in 1075. This is kingdom 1723, and the commander options here are all the same. So I'm inclined to believe that you'll get access to these commanders very early on, and let's just try our luck here. And all right, all 3 are purchased. And by the way, if you are going to get the daily special offer, there's really no question that the 3rd daily special offer, the Treasure of the King, is the best value. That is because you are getting action point potions here, and these action point potions are extremely valuable. And we'll talk more about why that's the case in just a moment. But let's open up these Richard I chests and see if we get anything good. Here we are, Treasure of the Lionheart, 1, 3 sculptures, okay, 2, silver key, and, okay, silver key. This looks like it's about the same as it was before. Sometimes you'll get a bunch of sculptures extra when you go and you purchase that daily special offer. You are guaranteed, however, when you buy 3 of those chests, that at least 1 of the 3 is going to drop some sculptures. So at least there is that guarantee that you'll get a few, and that number should be between 1 and 10. P.S. If you are going to buy things in this daily special offer, I still would prioritize the commanders that are not in gold keys. So commanders like YSG, commanders like Richard I, I think those are very good starting points. Commanders like Alexander the Great, I think is a great one to graduate to, as well as potentially Khan. Let me just, as a counterpoint, though, say that these days I'm less interested in Khan and more interested in Saladin. That is because of the Saladin-William combination. So although Khan will have longevity for you battling in Soroli and those sorts of events, I think that you're better off now with a Saladin over a Khan, although that could change anytime they add some commander that pairs really well with Khan. And the same is sort of true with Edward of Woodstock, unless you actually are rocking an Edward-Tamaris combination. Then I would probably just outright avoid this commander. He's not all that exciting in the field, and there is a very limited window in which he's great for rallies. So stick to Alexander the Great, potentially Khan after you've done some of these other ones, and focus primarily on YSG and Richard I. The next thing we need to talk about is the city skins, and there are several new ones that are here. There is a Lucky Lantern city skin, which is going to come from the Spring Festival events that was just entered in this patch. That should be in the next 3 weeks or so. That gives you archer defense at the cost of cavalry attack. If you're into archers, that seems fine. I think most people are more into cavalry than archers, or are using archers and some cavalry. So that may not be a skin that you're interested in. Looking into the next one, we do see that Ark of Osiris Season 4 is on its way. And the city skin here gives you infantry defense at the cost of cavalry health. This feels like an unlikely skin that you would want to use. Many people do use cavalry in Ark of Osiris, especially and infantry as well. Looking over here, the legendary skin is the Divine Lighthouse. Training speed 3%, troop health 3%, at the cost of 10% archer health. I actually think this is a really, really good skin for a lot of folks, besides the fact that the training speed is just gangbuster, although a very few number of people will win Ark of Osiris League to get this city skin, which does look amazing. In addition, there are name plaques here as well that correspond with each of those. There is the Golden Anubis for Ark of Osiris. There is the Silver Anubis, which honestly, like, these just look okay to me. And then, last but not least, the Dragon Dance. Oh, interesting. New Spring Bundle will contain that, so Spring Bundle is imminent, and if we go look at the avatar frames as well, this will give us another clue as to the events that are on their way in. There is the Golden Anubis, the Silver Anubis, and the Dragon Dance. Those are all the same. Let's jump back to my main. The thing that free-to-play players are probably most interested in this update is that Heroic Anthem, once you get to that point, the latest version of Kingdom versus Kingdom, is now going to give you crystals from battling barbarians and barbarian forts. The amount of crystals you're going to get is going to depend on the level of the barbarian. However, wow, I mean, it is definitely nice that you get some crystals, and I'm saying some crystals very purposefully because I think that the amount of crystals you're getting here is enough to accelerate the early portion of your technology journey in Heroic Anthem KVK, which is very good. It's going to get you a good jump start, but it is still a lot of crystals to advance things later on. So I think this will get you to the midpoint of your technology much faster, but the late tech is still going to be very hard to achieve, and that does correspond with changes to research time. I went in and I took a look, and the early researches, and thank you, Tripod, for doing a little bit of investigation here. The early researches have been reduced in their time for some of these items over here in the beginning of the tree. And I don't have the full picture because I've already done a lot of this research. However, the later research is unchanged. When I revisited the patch notes, and as I was trying to uncover what actually changed, I know that they said that they were making changes to this. When I looked in here, it does say they reduced the time for certain levels of Crystal Mine and Crystal Research Center, as well as some Crystal Research Center technologies. So emphasis there on the word certain levels and some. It's not everything. One other way that you can get crystals in Heroic Anthem KVK is that they've added some things that you can go and explore to get a few crystals and other goodies. For instance, it looks like in Heroic Anthem KVK, they've added mysterious caves. So I can go, I can scout these, they have some treasure, and I'll show you contained within some of those treasures. For instance, this treasure of the cave, level 3, we have 1,500 crystals, wow, and 200 action points. Actually, that's really exciting, because, I mean, obviously I can go battle some barbs and get some more crystals. So this is another small way that you are accelerating your crystal technology at the start. But again, I think towards the mid and end of things, you're going to still stagnate a bit because you're going to need a lot of crystals. But if you are AoE barb chaining like crazy, I don't know. I mean, it'll be some amount of crystal boost per day. And if you do enough of it, it will add up. Looking now to the Ark of Osiris, there are some big changes to Ark of Osiris as well. There is now an additional silver battlefield. This gives less rewards than the main battlefield, and that is for alliances that are outside of the top 20. So if I go now and I look in Ark of Osiris, I go to the rules, we hit rewards, and we scroll down. The Silver League has separate rewards, and those are about half the rewards you get for the main league. So the main league rewards are unchanged, but if you are in a huge kingdom, and there are not, I mean, I don't know, more than 20 alliances, there are not a ton of those out there to my knowledge. At least you can go in and play and get some sculptures, which I think is actually a great change. However, the bigger change to Ark of Osiris is the skills system. Because they made it so that now when you capture an obelisk, you get 3 additional teleports, so it's now 8 teleports instead of 5, they have also removed Divine Aid, which gives you 5 teleports on demand for some number of these precious points that you can use for skills. This means that not only is that skill no longer in here to use, Divine Aid, but they've adjusted the way that these skills work, which we need to get a look at. From what I see in here, it does look like they've made some really major changes toward pushing buildings and some things that honestly look really awesome for battling in the field. Noteworthy changes include hard push. This is 3 points, and the skill lasts for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's a very long time, by the way. Upon victory, the time required to occupy structures is reduced by 60 seconds. This means that you could capture a building now down from 3 minutes to 2 minutes in this patch, and then 2 minutes to 1 minute when you have hard push active. Buildings are going to be really important to hold and much more worth it to take. When your alliance launches a rally attack, the march speed is increased by 50% and damage is increased by 20%. Yeah, buildings are going to be fierce. Relentless Siege. This skill lasts for 10 minutes. Upon victory, the time required to occupy all structures is reduced by 60 seconds. Does not stack. Wow. Okay, both of these say does not stack. I thought these were stacking with themselves, but they don't. They also probably don't stack with each other. So I would think it's almost mandatory if you're going for buildings at all that you have one of these two things here. When your alliance launches a rally attack, the rally's counterattack damage is increased by 50%. Yes, swarm Attila Takeda now. Let's see what happens. Okay, so continuing on here, Valiant Stand looks roughly the same. Mending Pouch heals some slightly wounded units. Healing factor 5,000, up to 30 troops in an area, and that's only 2. Okay, I feel like it was much more expensive and healed much more troops before. So I think that's an okay change. Although if we have more of these points to use, I feel like you'd want it to be more expensive, not less expensive. Timely support. Governors on your side can heal wounded troops in war camps at 300% speed for 180 seconds. That's interesting. I mean, you use less speed ups. If you have to use that, you're obviously less focused about winning Ark of Osiris, though, because it's a little, I mean, like, you're using your points to reduce the healing time of troops. Okay. I don't know. That seems like a skill a lot of folks would be unlikely to use in favor of other things that make you win more, but let's see here. Bogged Down looks roughly the same as I remember it. Desert Storm, I feel like this used to be more points. Deals skill damage, damage factor 1,000, up to 30 enemy troops in an area for 10 seconds. No effect against structures. Sneaky Tactics grants the hidden status to up to 30 allied troops in an area. Those troops gain 50% march speed. Okay, that's nice. And cannot be seen for, 2 minutes. Okay, dude, Sneaky Tactics could be a thing. The hidden status is removed upon initiating an attack, and troops gain 30% damage. Yep, it's Sneaky Tactics. I'm calling it now. It's officially a thing. Unwavering Resolve. This skill can only be used while targeting troops carrying an arc. While the target is an ally, they take 50% less damage for 20 seconds. When the target is an enemy, they take 50% increased damage. I feel like this is still unlikely to be used. Heaven's Grace. Maybe this is the big heal I remembered, and this one is definitely changed. It's only 4. I think this was 6 before. Heals a portion of all allied troops, slightly wounded units. Healing factor 1,000 per second for 20 seconds. Yeah, that's way better. That is a massive, massive, massive heal. Wow. Heaven's Grace is huge. I actually think this is a really good skill, and I think this is a really good adjustment because there's so much healing reduction. I think this is nice and addresses that. It's enough healing that even with healing reduction and Ramses and Alexander the Great running all over the place and Saladins, that you'll still want to take Heaven's Grace. So I like that. To the Death looks roughly the same as how I remember it. All in all, these new Ark of Osiris skills are going to mix things up. Building game, it's going to be really crucial. And for those of you that are in those mega kingdoms, hey, enjoy the opportunity to get some sculptures from Ark of Osiris. A few other changes that we noticed is that if you go into Lost Canyon, it theoretically is indicating which commanders are expertised or not. I will point out theoretically because I know Maximus has all these commanders expertised. Heck, if I look at my own lineup, Guan and Alex are definitely expertised in my roster, but they don't show up expertised here, which is certainly a little weird. If you make your way into your castle, it now shows a summary of all the troops that are in your rally. So when people send siege to your Attila Takeda rally, at least you don't have to tap into every single one to figure out that that's happened. You'll see a summary up top over here, and you can open this up, and I wish, I don't know how you'd show, like, the players who were bringing these different unit types. That's where you really want to know, like, who's the person that's messing up the rally. This is a step in the right direction for what I think the rally center or the war details here should look like. However, I'd really like the ability when I launch a rally to say send cavalry and you cannot send me anything else. I guess we're not quite there yet, but at least this summary view is a nice step in the right direction. Now, there may be some other changes to commanders that we haven't figured out yet, but one change that we found is on the 4th skill of Nebuchadnezzar. If I am remembering correctly, this could trigger every 5 seconds, and now it triggers every 3 seconds. This, by the way, is just a change to the text. It's not actually a change to the way that it was working, so it was doing that before. Speaking about how things are working, if you want to understand what the heck is happening in a battle, you might make your way to the battle log, which now looks very different. What I do really like is that now it is showing me the temporary buffs by turn. This is a nice little summary here that it's pulled off to the side, and it's a lot easier to understand, like, what the heck is happening and when did I get a buff. And if you want to understand what that looked like, well, you tap into... Oh, nothing happened on those turns. Guess I was running away from this barb, AoE barb chaining. If I tap into this, I can then look at the details of the report. It does look like they're trying to bracket out or separate out different groups of things that have happened, which also seems nice. It's going to take a while to visually adjust to how this is working. However, I am looking forward to being able to better understand what's going on, and I think if I tap some of these things... Oh, that's nice. That's quite nice. This is really quite nice. I think it's going to be a lot easier for people to understand what is going on in these battle reports because you can tap them now and it's showing you what the actual skill is. You don't have to, like, remember off the top of your head what the heck the, tyrannical lion was. If you don't remember, don't worry. You just tap it now. One crazy Easter egg that was brought to our attention is the presence of a sovereign key. There have been some leaks floating around recently, and although as a sponsored content creator, I can't talk about anything that was leaked, I don't actually have any inside information about it. I just can't talk about it. I think that this could be pretty exciting. Used to open chests containing legendary commanders and other great rewards in the Legendary Tavern event. Definitely looking forward to seeing more about what this could lead to. My impression is that there's going to be access to a lot of legendary commanders that may give younger kingdoms access to commanders sooner. That could be very exciting in bringing balance to the way KVK works, because let me tell you, KVK Season 3 is insane. You break the 300-day mark for when commanders can be used, and, like, dude, we just launched, literally in our Restart Kingdom, just unlocked Attila Takeda, and people are, garrisoning with Zenobia, and they could be rallying with Nebuchadnezzar. It's a little insane how much power creep there is in these young kingdoms. Really? Verification? Really? As I was saying, it's a little insane that these kingdoms can be using commanders like Zenobia and Nebuchadnezzar when they've just unlocked Attila and Takeda, and most players in the kingdom don't have access to these commanders. Like, literally, all of the crazy action in Kingsland was players that migrated, leading rallies and being the garrison captains, which I guess is not that much different. But the majority of it was with captains and commanders that, like, nobody who is native to those kingdoms would have access to. I don't know. Feels a little weird to me, but I guess that perhaps these sovereign keys will give some players, perhaps, a way to get access to different commanders that they wouldn't have potentially had access to otherwise. Honestly, we don't know yet. We'll see exactly how this works. As soon as we have more information, we'll talk about it. If there's anything else that you found in this update that we should be talking about, let me know in a comment on the video. That way we can go and get a look later and perhaps explore it further, and everybody can go check those out to see what other cool stuff or Easter eggs exist in this update. I'm looking forward to when those spring events will hit, and of course, as soon as they do, we will make a video covering it to make sure you have all the information you need. So consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom.